Welcome to a sort of joint Lorehounds and Properly Howard podcast covering A Night of the Seven Kingdoms on HBO Max. I'm John. With me today, she always knows the words she's supposed to say for Dead Nobles, Elysia.
And I know the words because you put the script in front of me. Right now, the words are, today we're recapping Season 1, Episode 5, In the Name of the Mother. We'll give our hot takes on the episode and then go into a scene-by-scene breakdown.
The main breakdown will be on this feed every week, but to get additional content like the Sunday night instant takes and the weekly feedback episodes with Anthony and Steve, subscribe to Properly Howard Movie Review, which is linked in the show notes, or just search it wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to be part of the conversation, you can send emails to smallcouncil@thelorehounds.com or cocoonsofhorror@gmail.com, your choice. Or you can head to our Discord server to chat in real time with all the community. And all that is in the link tree in the show notes.
And if you like what you've heard and want to support us or get ad-free and bonus content, check the same link tree for our Patreon and Supercast subscription options.
All right, we're here for hot takes. Unfortunately, Anthony was supposed to be with us. That's why I said it was sort of a joint Lorehounds Properly Howard production. Anthony's under the weather, so we're going to go on without him.
We shall... I don't know. I was going to mix song titles. We shall overcome. We shall make it.
Somebody tell Anthony to get up before we lose him altogether.
Well, oh my God, that scream.
Yeah. Wait! That was the scene. I mean, we're going to get into it so quick, but that was the moment where I was like, they picked the right egg.
Yeah. Because he sounded like a spoiled prince, but he is a spoiled prince, and in this case we're like rooting for, like, listen to the spoiled prince.
So good. Well, what'd you think overall?
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely, I see a lot of people putting this up there with the best of all of the episodes in this universe, which is funny because they did the same about the last. So I'm wondering which people prefer, but it is, I mean, it's full of just the book part, which is basically the battle aspect. It's full of some nasty twists and turns we're going to talk about. And then they added in this flashback aspect too, which, you know, we get some teases, I think more in the third novella about Dunk's childhood, where he had 3 friends, one of them named Rafe. And seeing that, I think, helped contextualize his relationship with Arlen more. I saw right before we got on here. Okay, question for you. And so we're going full spoilers, by the way.
Right. Well, full spoilers for the show up to this point.
Right.
No book spoilers.
No book spoilers. Right. Passage this episode. But yeah, I think it was Eon who asked, did they fridge Rafe?
It's a good question. I'm going to say no, and here's why. Rafe's outcome was definitely in part her own making, right? Mm-hmm. She was not a senseless victim of violence. She was picking a fight with it. I mean, she was a victim of violence, but then instead of walking away, she continued to pick the fight with the guy who clearly she was overpowered by. And while I don't want to blame the victim here, I'm also like, I don't think she was just random violence here. And that's where I think fridging comes in, is just like, well, she died in a car crash, right? Like something like that.
Right. And it was, yeah. I mean, I suppose it's in this environment. The question is, did Duncan have 3 friends and we're going to find out the other 2 died before this because King's Landing, Flea Bottom just be like that, you know?
Somebody ended up in the stew. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, bowl of brown.
Yeah. Do you think that she was fridged?
I hadn't considered it until Ian mentioned it, and then I thought, well, I mean, I suppose in some ways it fits the definition, but not. I wasn't bothered by it, so I continue to not be bothered by it. I think it is, like you said, also she had a lot of agency.
Yeah, she kept, even beyond the way she died, she was kind of in charge of that relationship.
But also things like when she took his cider flask and then just poured it out, like that was just petulant, which I understand.
Right.
She hates this guy with good reason. But I did like, well, first of all, it made me question, did Duncan see like a physical similarity in Tansy as her? Is that one reason why he was drawn to Tansy? Because
Yeah, that could be.
Similar faces in a way in coloring. And then also just, the way it introduced Sir Arlen to the story, which is a change from the books where, I mean, we don't really get that much clarification there. It's just sort of like Sir Arlen found him after the battle and Arlen's nephew died, just basically found Duncan flea bottom. But this gives Dunk also a bit more agency and Sir Arlen less, I suppose. Like, Sir Arlen did the thing where he was the knight, even though he was drunk, and saved the lad. But then Dunk followed him and really sought out this life.
Yeah. And they, of course, added a lot of mirroring with Egg.
Right,
and how
exactly.
Egg approached Dunk. It's just... And then you go like, does Dunk realize that? I don't know if Dunk does.
No, I don't know that Dunk is great at pattern recognition.
In general. Not the direction of sword swinging. None of it. Guy does. Oh. If dude was like slightly less of a tank and had slightly worse armor, he would have been dead like 6 times in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, he really is. He is full tank, but sometimes that's what you need. That's why we have tanks in our
right,
parties.
Exactly.
I liked, though, with the battle that they didn't make it like, they showed, like, even when he was watching Sir Arlen practice, is this old man who's kind of swinging wildly and had already lost it, basically. And why would Dunk, having learned from him, be good at, the sword fighting?
Exactly. He just has to be sober and he wins.
Right. He just has to like be able to take more than the other side can give and give it back harder.
Yeah, I really
Sorry, I didn't mean that to sound sexual.
I didn't even put that together, but it fits the show. So Sir Arlen the Well Hung, he clearly a drunkard, clearly not that great of a mentor, clearly a tough love kind of guy, if love at all. And I honestly wonder how Dunk ended up as earnest as he is under this tutelage.
Yeah, that's true. Especially they make him I think this is a 3rd book, so I won't say too much because they'll probably do more flashbacks, but it is about his backstory. But they make him kind of more of a bully of like they're chasing around girls, making them kiss severed heads in the book when they talk about his youth. So it does beg the question, why is he so nice? And I think the book implies that Arlen's the one who taught him to be nice, and the show does not seem to be setting things up the same way.
Dunk the lunk, thick as a castle wall.
Yeah.
I wish somebody had said that in the show.
Yeah, there's time.
There is time.
Season 2.
But that's like a refrain in the book,
Yeah, but maybe it's going to be something that a certain redhead in season 2 makes up.
Could be. Well, you heard it here, folks. Alicia's putting down her internet points.
Sure.
Putting down her 2 silver stags.
With a maybe and a Sir Arlen style shrug.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I'm super happy with this episode. It sounds like you're pretty thrilled with this episode, too. Yeah. Do you want to hear what David has to say? David couldn't be here with us for the live recording, but he sent in a voicemail.
All right.
Here we go.
Hey, David here with a really quick voicemail feedback. Not going to lie, I was kind of looking forward to a really long and involved fight sequence. So yeah, I was a little disappointed when we went to the flashback. And then I kept checking the time, wondering when we were going to get back into the fight. That said, I don't disagree with the choice for the flashback to King's Landing. And given that they're going to set up for multiple seasons, I see that there's a logic there in giving us the Dunk origin story. And it'll be fun if Pennytree, if we get visions of Pennytree from time to time in key moments with sort of his spirit, his force ghost looking over Dunk and giving him shrugs and funny little things. I don't know if we need any more full frontal nudity, but it would be fun to see him from time to time. But something else I'd been wondering about was how they were going to bridge us into the Dunk and Aid road trip story, for future seasons, because that's, I'm assuming, where they're going. That's what little I know about the books. And they got me when Dunk was swearing fealty to Baelor. I was like, okay, cool. But then how are we going to get on the road? Like, where's the on the road story? And then Baelor needed some help with his helmet, and now I think we can see the reason why Dunk will probably need to exit rather quickly. And I'm just thinking about Dunk's reputation now as well. I don't think there's going to be many of the bigger houses, or any house of any size really, that are going to want to associate with him. He's been accused of stealing a princeling, and then he punched another prince. And then he got the hand of the king killed in a fight. He got Arion to submit or to yield. And Arion, say what you want about him, he's still blood of the dragon, so his family just has to manage for that. But what noble houses are going to want to take this hedge knight into their service? Not many, I'd wager. He's just going to have people could think nicely of him and think Arion's a real shit. But that doesn't mean that they're going to want to get on the bad side of the alien invaders and hire this hedge knight. That's just sort of asking for a little trouble. So then I was thinking about the small folk. And it feels like he's probably going to have a lot of love among the small folk, and that his reputation for being a gentle, kind person, he's good with animals, and he seems just like a chill dude to have around. And I'm sure the telling of the tale of this fight are only going to grow the legend more and more as the tale gets told. Same issue, right? No one's really going to want to end up on the wrong side of the alien invaders, of the Targaryens. So I guess they're gonna need to help Dunk on the DL, right? And just sort of not be seen visibly supporting him, but leaving a loaf of bread out on the stoop, or you see him walking down the road, did you leave a little jug of ale out as he walks by, and you sort of duck back away so nobody sees you, doing that. And I could see, I'm excited. I don't know if this is going to happen, but I'd be excited to see the Smith character. I think he really encapsulates a lot of the goodwill of the small folk towards Dunk. And I really love that character and the actor. I really love the actor's portrayal, and I want to see him sort of, with his big beard and his low gravelly voice. Maybe he'll help get them out. If I'm going to do a little speculation, maybe he'll facilitate, Dunk getting out, or once they bind up his wounds a little bit, getting him off hidden into the countryside. So anyway, I'm super excited for the finale. And I'm really glad that they're going to be turning and burning on these multi-year long waits for these other prestige shows. It's just killing me. And to know that this is going to be churning out every year or so, I think it's great. And I'm looking forward to it because I'm having a lot of fun. I love the original Game of Thrones, regardless of its messy ending. I'm really enjoying House of the Dragon. And so if we could have this sort of little piece of, in between interstitial, it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit sour, and it's just kind of fun and it adds some levity to this world. I think it's a really smart strategic ploy for this IP. Okay, that's my thoughts for now. Have a great pod, and I will talk to you all later.
Thanks, David, for writing in. That's a lot of feedback, a lot of speculation that I cannot comment on without spoiling things for next episode. So I'm going to avoid that. Elysia, you had some thoughts. I saw you were jotting down.
Yeah, no, most of that we can't touch. It's really fun to hear speculation. But I'll just comment on at the beginning, David was talking about the fight length. And I think as book readers, we knew it was going to be quick. And I think you were saying that on the last episode, like it's over pretty quickly. So yeah, we expected that. But I did really like something about this, and I've heard people comparing it to Battle of the Bastards, and of course Battle of the Bastards is on a whole different scale. But I think one reason why people respond to both of them is that they really put you in the thick of the battle. It's not this overhead view where it looks like carefully coordinated armies. You see it's just like chaos and grit and anger and blood and fear. And so, yeah, that is... I liked that we were plunged in that we were looking initially just through Dunk's helmet as he kind of froze for a minute, after he and Raymond had both just vomited.
Yeah.
And that we didn't, and that it is something you need to rewatch to, like, I knew I was expecting Maekar to, of course, bash in his brother's head because that's what happens in the book.
Right. And you can see it, by the way. People have like freeze framed where the mace hits.
But that's the thing is, again, like you can see it. And obviously they were careful to make sure you could see it. But in the moment, you wouldn't notice. Right. And so you have to go back and watch it again once you know what happened. Because we get a replay.
Interesting too that earlier, and I'm with you on all your points, but earlier we had Steely Pate talk about, I don't care about fancy designs or all that. I just make good steel. It's not going to break. And of course, that steel saves Dunk several times. Like he almost gets slashed in the. There was a really strong moment where he gets a hard hit right in the neck. He would have had his shoulder by his neck just completely destroyed, but it hits the steel and it stops. And see, God bless Steely Pate. God's bless. Steely Pate.
Exactly. You need functional, and I notice, Baratheon, his antlers are broken off by the end and everything too. So it reminds me. I read this. There's this Mercedes Lackey kind of fantasy smut book that I liked back when I was a teenager called "If I Paid Thee Not in Gold," and in it there's this group of warrior women, and most of them would cut their hair because it was a weapon to be used against you in battle. And so only the greatest warriors would let their hair grow long as like a taunting sign of like, oh, you're not going to be able to lay a hand on me. Because if you have a handle on your helmet, that's a really great tool for your opponent to use.
Yeah. They did the same thing kind of in The Boys. I don't want to do too many spoilers for The Boys, but there's a thing about capes. Why you wouldn't want to wear a cape in battle. Anyway, if you watch The Boys, you know what I'm talking about. Very funny scene. But yeah, I actually similarly, I don't want a longer fight scene. I thought this was a good length of the fight. I thought that it's
realistic.
Yeah, it is realistic. And I think that if you are going to have a longer fight scene than this, you need a multi-phase battle, not just a small group fight, right? Not just a little melee. These charges and melees are very quick. There was a great point. I've just finished reading the Stormlight Archive. There was a great point where there's a character going into her first battle, and she goes, or first like hand-to-hand fight. She goes, my training, they kept telling me it goes by in a few seconds. It's like really like a couple of minutes at most, and it's true. Like the fight is just over.
Right.
Where you get longer fight scenes like the Battle of the Bastards, which still was only about a third of that episode, to be clear. I just looked it up. That is, a multi-phase battle with cavalry, a charge, an archery units. You have another faction coming in. There are different layers to that. Whereas this is basically sticking with the pointy end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm good with it. I see where David's coming from, and it could be just a side effect of it being a shorter episode overall. I think it might have actually felt better if they would have combined these two episodes, done one supersized episode.
I mean, yeah, I guess there's a version of where we had like a longer season where we got to know the Humphreys, and so that we cared more that they died like that. I mean, honestly, we know them even less than we did in the book.
I will weep not for the Humphreys.
I mean, it was cool of them to jump in, right?
Seemed like pretty cool guys. That's the best thing you could say about them.
They had the least, like, well, except for the one guy who got his leg crushed by Arian. He had a good reason, but it was cool of them to jump in and give their lives for this random hedge knight. So respect to the Humphreys name.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get into the...
But I'm happy with it, the way that it worked out.
Yeah, let's get right into the episode, because it is mostly just, the fight. It's bookended by the fight. We start off with Baelor's pep talk to a mismatched team for Sir Duncan, while Raymond and Dunk empty their bellies. The fighting begins, and Dunk is immediately knocked out, of course.
Reminds me of Tyrion in the original show. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember if there was a named battle, but right when he goes to fight with Tywin, and Tywin's like, "Yeah, you can lead this vanguard." Tyrion's like, "I am so fucked," and then he just gets knocked out, and he's fine.
Yeah, that was like season 2 or something. Because I remember,
that's early.
Because he was in more of that battle in the book. It's been a while since I've read that book. But yeah, and so I remember people feeling cheated in the TV show, but it was a way for them also, like, from a financial perspective, battles are super expensive.
The budget, and I believe that's the same season that the Battle of Blackwater Bay is, so they probably needed to save their budget for them.
Yeah, and so this whole making a claustrophobic Dunk's point of view also, I'm sure, saves some money here, because I like the fact that the show looks great, looks like it fits into the universe, but by scaling it back, they're able to make it something that's, when it costs less, it's more likely to go on longer.
I think that's right. And really, honestly, I don't think that this show is about the fight. It's really about what it means to be a knight.
Yeah.
And you don't get a lot of that from the fighting. You get a lot of that from him protecting the weak. His idea of being a knight. And his choice of when to vomit means a lot too. I mean, he vomits during the anxiety of the battle rather than right after he has had a tremendous amount of alcohol in the line of Sir Arlen.
He's a big dude. He can hold the alcohol. But yeah, I like that, this battle showed that what is normally glorified about knighthood, these battles and chivalry, it's not just like people think, I don't know, that knights march in with shiny armor and leave with shiny armor. And this shows like, no, it is brutal, like teeth and claws kind of fighting really in the end, because it's really your life is on the line and so is someone else's. So there's nothing elegant or romantic about it.
Right. Exactly. I mean, maybe if this were one of the jousts and it wasn't with Arian, who's going to cheat and kill your horse, then it's more majestic and more fun. But boy, oh boy, if you're not just smashing shields, if you're fighting to the death, not a fun time to be in war.
No, did not look fun. I did not envy anyone in that battle.
And they're doing this just cuz. Like, just to be clear, there was no reason for this. This is just cuz.
Well, because Arian's an ass. Arian sucks.
But that's not a real reason.
So, okay, if Arian and Joffrey had to fight each other, who would win?
Oh, Arian definitely proved himself a capable fighter.
Yeah,
in this.
I agree.
He was good. Joffrey is not an actual fighter. He's going to get shit thrown on his cheek, and that's done. Did you think that there was going to be more shit throwing from the ground? I thought that there was going to be a horse shit thrown when Dunk was like eyeing the mud for a little bit.
Oh, no, I did. My mind didn't go there, but I wouldn't have been surprised if the show did. Although
I think it would have actually been like good, because it would have been like flea bottom fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like fling shit
true.
Around.
But it was like when he took the advantage, it was flea bottom style. It wasn't like using the sword with fancy training. He's like, I will bash your face in with your own shield because I am bigger and stronger.
Right. And then he just goes right to punches. And that was alleyway fighting. That was not the Sir Arlen school. That was the Rafe school of hard knocks.
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking of Rafe, His origin story is next. Dunk's origin story. A young Dunk loots bodies in the aftermath of the last battle of the Blackfire Rebellion. He and his friend Rafe return to Flea Bottom to sell the scraps and narrowly dodge a thieving attempt from local bully Alistair. Rafe steals Alistair's wineskin after selling the loot. Dunk and Rafe make plans to buy passes to Essos, and each says they love each other. When the Silver Stags aren't enough to buy passage, Alistair finds the pair and demands his wineskin back. Alistair and his companion rob Rafe and send her off with Dunk. Rafe can't resist stealing Alistair's dagger, and he responds by killing her with it. Before he could kill Dunk, a drunken Sir Arlen bursts out of a pub and kills Alistair and his friend in the name of the mother.
First of all, I just have to point out that both the actors who play Rafe and Alistair are from Dune Prophecy.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. And actually, the guy also is from, I was recently, Sanditon, my favorite, probably costume drama. It's based on an unfinished Jane Austen novel. It's free on PBS for a couple months, so I was just promoting it on the,
cool.
And he played, what's his face, Davis. He played a good character on that. For once, not an asshole.
He does have the demeanor to play the asshole.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but he's really good at it.
No, exactly. But if you want to see him be a nice guy, watch Sanditon.
Right. Well, so much to talk about here. I don't think it was Dunk's idea to go loot bodies. It was interesting that he went right to killing the guy too, by the way.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it was a mercy kill. I mean, I guess the thought was it was a mercy kill, but then, yeah, I do wonder if we haven't gotten in the books yet much, Dunk doesn't really know about his parentage. And I've always wondered if that was something that would be explored in future books. So I wonder, with George R. R. Martin providing a lot of notes, I wonder if it will be explored in future seasons here. And if I don't know if he was around for anyone's death or, had to mercy kill someone or something like that.
It's a good question. I think it's something else. I think it's that Rafe gave him instruction before, if any of the dying soldiers see you, put them out of their misery so they can't identify you if they're found. And he doesn't have nuance, so he can't think, oh, this is a noble we can ransom. He just goes immediately to, I was given instructions and I will follow them.
Okay, could be.
At this point, at least. And I do think that he is just kind of in survival mode right now. He's just, looking for somebody to love. Can anybody find me? We're going to get YouTube strike. But then when he sees Sir Arlen, that's when his worldview changes. And he's like, I need to be this thing that is bigger than a person.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because he saves him in the alleyway? Wasn't Rafe kind of doing stuff like that for him, though, too?
But
do you think it was the romance of Sir Arlen, having the cape and the sword?
That is what I think it is. I think that he saw him as this otherworldly being, as this beacon of honor, something above the common man, right? He bursts out, spew and vomit, and ready to take on the world. That is something he has not seen before. Rafe is sneaky. Rafe will quietly stand up for him, but no one has ever been like, get away from my boy, until Sir Arlen.
Right. Yeah, Rafe is more the rogue, and Sir Arlen is, the cleric or whatever. Paladin. Or at least he looks so to Dunk. Do you think at this point in his life, Sir Arlen fights better drunk?
Yes. I think he's studied that art.
Do you think he's drunk when he's practicing in the field and singing Dothraki?
Yes, I do. I think he's been drunk for the last 20 years.
Do you think he finds anything else? We don't get to learn that much about the drugs of Westeros, do we?
No, we don't. It's mostly just wine, right? I don't think. Well, there's definitely, weren't there hallucinogens that the Dothraki used in their rituals?
Sure. Yeah, I suppose it's like this foreign exotic thing. I also feel like Melisandre, the red
Yeah,
priests and
yeah.
priestesses. Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dutch
Yeah, I think you're
actress,
right.
Paris van Houten. Anyway.
You know, when people couldn't remember, and I couldn't remember either who Red was, I thought they were going to make it like young Melisandre or something. Every time I see a mysterious red-haired woman in Game of Thrones, I'm like, oh, it's Melisandre.
Oh, I recognized her right away.
Okay. I know a lot of people were debating, and yeah, I was one of them.
Well, it's
I was part of the
funny. Do you
problem.
think it is like that the women recognize? Because I'm thinking of people who recognized her right away and totally anecdotal, but did the women recognize her and the men didn't?
It could be. I think I'm just bad at recognizing people in general.
All right, fair.
I'm just not good at that, but I'm trying to get better. But you know, it's something that I'm not the best at. But yeah, I think people were. I think people were like, you know what it is. Setting matters too, and she was. You know, you didn't necessarily expect
sitting
her
with
to
the
be up in the
nobles.
stands. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's somebody's favorite weekend friend.
That's right. Well, there's a lot more in this section. I mean, first of all, the free cities being this, safe haven. Do we think that they would have had a better time, honestly?
Honestly, if I lived in Westeros, I would have left for the free cities long ago. Bravos specifically. That would be, if I lived in this world, I would head to Bravos. That would be my place.
It does seem like a pretty cool place to live.
I feel like it's kind of Westerosi Amsterdam with the mishmashing of cultures and all the canals.
With all the oysters, clams, and cockles you could want.
And it is on the map in the same sort of place.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Here's another question for you. Did Rafe mean it when she said, I love you too? Because she kind of looks down. And I don't know if that means she's like kind of embarrassed to get tender with him, or if she's kind of using it as a more like, I need you to come with me because I need company. And so I'm just going to say it back to keep you around.
I didn't clock anything odd about that myself, but if there was, could it be also something about like, I do think she loved him, as a brother, but maybe there was something like, but she wanted to make it clear only as a brother, something like that.
Maybe. We'll never know now because she's gone. They never had a chance to hash that out.
No. Or
Very
maybe
sad.
she was thinking about going without him because they didn't have enough for them both.
I think she probably was.
Yeah, maybe she should
It's
have.
very possible. I don't know. Well, she's not going to Essos now. Instead, we have Dunk following Sir Arlen. Did you enjoy this whole, montage of Dunk dying from exposure?
I mean, first of all, shout out to the editor, whoever edited that. That was very well done with the Dothraki song going through, and just like you can see it's going on for a while. You feel the passage of time, but it never is slow or boring. But you do feel for Dunk just like hovering in the cold behind the trees or the rocks or whatever. How long do you think Arlen was aware that he was following him?
Oh, I think a fairly long time, because he was right behind him, right? Like he was not that far, and he's on it. He's often following him through like empty plains.
Right.
There's no like boulder to hide behind.
He was just like walking flagrantly, like not far behind him on the road at one point. I was like, wait, has he already spoken to him? No? Okay.
It's very weird. I think that Dunk is just kind of dumb. That's really the simplest explanation here. This is Occam's razor, is that Dunk is kind of dumb and doesn't know how to sneak around.
I mean, we've been assigning D&D roles, and we've already said that Rafe was definitely the rogue and Dunk is the tank. He's just thump. He's just attracting the attention to him so that but he misses the rogue to sneak around and steal stuff.
Definitely. And I don't think that Sir Arlen wanted him to like pass out. I think that he just kind of didn't notice his condition because he's always so drunk.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of good world building. Once it becomes obvious, he goes right over. That was good character work. He goes right over and says, "Get up," but first he offers him a drink. He does offer him something first. The other thing is that the Dothraki singing, and this is something that Anthony, I think, said on the Instant Take. The Dothraki singing does do a lot of work. It shows and not tells you that he is a well-traveled knight,
Right.
and that he at least had a career at one point, even if he doesn't now.
Yeah, I mean, we only get the barest glimpses like that, and the fact that Baylor remembered him from previous jousts. So he was once like not a big somebody, but he was, he was a respectable knight. And it just begs the question of what happened. And I hope that they do weave more of the backstory into the next season than they do in the books. Because, I mean, I guess it's safe to say that we've been setting up a lot this whole Blackfire rebellion that happened in the past. And we know that's where Sir Arlen's nephew died. And it's just the question of how fully did that change him, Yeah. Was he a different sort of knight before that?
We just had a very interesting Pit episode. I know you're not watching the Pit, but if folks are watching the Pit at home, there was a very interesting Pit episode this past week that kind of speaks to people changing from trauma in relation to substances. And it kind of dovetails nicely with that.
I hear good things about the Pit.
It's very good. Everybody says it's good, and they're right.
Okay.
I didn't actually read the point about Sir Arlen being followed by Dunk, but that happened, and we talked about it already. When we get back from this break, we are going to make sure Dunk gets up. We're back. Get up, Dunk. Dunk re-engages in the fight, and Arian does enough damage to him to make him dizzy. Dunk is knocked unconscious again and appears to be dead. Egg stops the Master of Games from declaring a victor, and Dunk hears Sir Arlen say, "Get up," again. Dunk beats Arian senseless and forces him to yield, then drags him by the foot to the referee. Dunk is declared the victor, and the fighting stops. Man, this was a feel-good comeback, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you could see the entire crowd was on his side too.
Yes.
Even in the noble stands, people were. I mean, how can you not root for the chivalrous knight who's protecting the fair maiden?
People love an underdog, and you know that everyone heard what really happened.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, Arian had already pissed everyone off with the whole move with Sir Humphrey, with his horse. So, like, he's the villain of the tournament. That's that. There's no, and then he takes it a step further, and now this, like, no, take him down. It's like, if this were a WWE match, like, it would be fixed that way. And
right,
I think. Do you think Baylor joining on the side of we heard what's his face? I'm like, not Renly, don't say Renly, Lionel. We heard Lionel questioning Baylor, like, is this fair? Because it means that 3 of the White Cloaks can't fight against him. And he said the gods will judge if it's fair. So do you think that's a fair question to ask, whether it's fair? And do you think that the gods judged?
I think it's fair. It's a fair question. And if I were the gods, I would say, hey, this was already rigged against Dunk because they stopped him from getting more help when he probably could have. And so I'm okay with them rigging it a little bit in return,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it strictly honorable? No, I don't think that's the letter. That's not the spirit of the rules, right? It might be the letter of the rules, but it's not the spirit of the rules.
Right.
But it's it's all's fair in jousts and macing.
Well,
I guess.
What's interesting is that it ended up, because Arian didn't want to fight Dunk directly, it ended up being the 7-on-7. But then it was like the other 7 were just there to keep each other at bay, so that it could really, in the end, be Arian against Dunk.
Right.
Like there didn't need to be anyone else involved.
It is pretty ridiculous, and in the end, I know David is saying like Dunk's got to get out of there. Everyone's gonna blame him, but like I don't know. I think from a totally spoiler-free point, I think people are pissed at the Targaryens, and it's including the nobles, and it is very clear that Arian caused this situation.
Mm-hmm. And now Maekar has killed his brother. Well, sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
Right, he made the killing blow. Can I ask you, do you think that Dunk died for a minute and came back? Because
it looks like that, right?
It did, and there was a point made in Reddit comment, I think it was. Maybe it was our Discord, I don't know. But somebody made a point that if that is true, that's the first time in any Westeros media, books, screen, whatever, that we've seen the 7 do something.
I mean, the argument is that when we've seen resurrections, it does involve the 7 with the priest or priestess as an intermediary.
No, isn't that's R'hllor? That is
right. No, so that's a god intervention, but not
exactly.
The 7. I see what you mean.
Exactly, that's a different religion. We've seen the old gods work.
Mm-hmm.
We've never seen anything actually happen from the 7.
Right. Yeah, now I'm racking my brain, but I can't immediately think of anything. So it's about time.
Can you guys do something for once?
Yeah.
There's 7 of you. Not one of you could do something?
I mean, this was like totally consecrated in their name. 7-on-7 with the priest introducing them.
I'm gonna hold to this. This wasn't the Lord of Light. This wasn't the old gods. This was the new gods, the 7, and they resurrected Dunk.
All right. I'm with you. I support this.
The lore is there. But yeah, I mean, he hears her Arlen say, "Get up again." I like how gruff it is too. It's not like a "Come on, lad, get up." It's "Get up."
It's kind, not nice.
That's true. It's true. And of course, Dunk gets all flea bottom on Arian, tackles him. We kind of already talked about this, but really, the fact that he drags him by the foot like a doll
I love
is
that.
hilarious. He really humiliates him in a way that to David's point, to David's favor on saying Dunk's got to run. That is humiliating for him, and I would be watching out, looking over my shoulder for this guy and his assassins every day after that.
Right, exactly. Because that's the thing is like, sure, he can apologize or, he can rescind what he said this day in front of a crowd even. But this seems like someone who can hold a cold grudge.
Right. It only takes one cat's paw dagger to attempt a murder. Then again, can you find a hedge knight? They don't have an address.
That's true, but they do. Well, okay, I have to bite my tongue on that.
All right. Is it a flesh wound, Elysia?
It's only a flesh wound. I've had worse.
Well, Dunk gets early treatment from Steely Pate. Prince Baelor comes in. Dunk bows down to him, but Baelor really wants his helmet off and is not feeling himself. When Steely Pate gets the helmet off, there is a hole in the back of Baelor's head from Maekar's mace. Dunk holds the dead Baelor in his arms.
The dead dragon with the wide wings under Dunk, or maybe just the first.
There's no fire yet, so is this it? That's the question.
So I just want to point out 2 things about Baelor's eyes. One is that I heard in the feedback episode somebody asked if Baelor had 2 different colored eyes, and yes, they did. That's not a thing from the books, but it is a thing on the show because the actor who plays his son, Darren, has heterochromia. And so they said, okay, let's also give Baylor heterochromia, also to emphasize the fact that Baylor, because he has his dark hair from his Dornish mother, he's kind of seen as like mixed blood. So yeah, they did do that. And the other thing about that is about his eyes is they were stopping working. That was right before he took his helmet off. You know, he was not seeing correctly. And that's because once the helmet was removed, the part of the helmet that was removed was the occipital lobe at the back, which is the visual processing center of our brains.
I hate all of that. Thank you for telling us. Oh boy, this is a tough scene, and like you and I both read the novella, we knew this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
That was tough.
Yeah, I was bracing myself. I thought like they might do something like half his head slides off or something.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was going to be more gruesome, but I thought this was better. Honestly, they didn't overdo it. They just,
no, it's realistic.
Yeah, it was just, oh, you have a hole in your head
from your brother's mace. Which,
that's tough.
I mean, what was he thinking? Like, that is always going to be the question that probably even he's going to ask himself. Did he do it on purpose?
Yeah. I don't know. But, something that Maya pointed out to me, I was watching this with Maya, and she said, in the moment when Maekar was going over to Arian, he was trying to get to his son while his son was being beat to shit by Dunk. And so I don't know if there was much thought or if it was just, I got to get to my son. Let me knock everybody out of the way.
Right.
I'm going to give Maekar the benefit of the doubt, even though he doesn't deserve it.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I mean, I think the presentation of Maekar so far has been far from flattering, but we'll see what the finale gives us.
Yeah.
He may feel a little differently after what's happened now.
It is a sobering thing to kill your brother, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how he's going to feel after doing that.
Yeah. I hope it's really rough on him, honestly.
Can I also say I love that Steely Pate is just part of the gang now? He's not just the armorer. He's the armorer.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they did. It's less realistic than the books, but I wouldn't mind if there was something like he's a traveling armorer, so he turns up every season because reasons, there's a fair nearby or whatever.
Oh, that feels a little video gamey though. Like in Resident Evil, there will be like the traveling merchant, and you're like, oh, come see my wares.
I like that though. I mean, no, I'm sure. I doubt it's going to happen. Although there's a good reason, maybe. Well, anyway, in future seasons, perhaps.
We'll get to spoilers after the credits, but for now, I mean, it's just sad. Baylor, is saying I need good knights, and you don't know if he's like about to offer Duncan a position or if he just has brain damage. But
I think he was. I mean, it's the same in the book. I really, because you get excited and you're like, yes, this is perfect. He should work for. Baylor has the the values and morals that Dunk is seeking, and can show him that yes, even the highborn can be moral.
Right, and maybe get this kid some actual training.
Right.
Because with some training, Dunk could be an unstoppable beast.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
He's just such raw talent.
What if we had Dunk against the Mountain? Who would win that fight?
I mean, right now, I think
just a fist fight. No,
just a
swords.
fist fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Mountain still kills him.
Okay,
because the Mountain can be sneakier than Dunk.
Mm-hmm.
The Mountain
will play dirtier for sure.
Right, and I don't think that Dunk actually plays dirty. He gets a little rough and tumble with the punch in, the shield stuff, but that's just being sort of brutal,
just
not
scrappy.
Dirty.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Scrappy is a good word for it. Yeah. I would give that one to the Mountain. Sad to say, and definitely to the Hound. The Hound would just wipe the floor with him.
Yeah, you think? Because I mean, without a sword. Dunk, all Dunk would need to do is light a fire.
Does Dunk know that, though? I don't think Dunk would think of that.
No, he wouldn't think of that. I don't think he has a fire starting kit in the battle, but...
With the sword, I think Dunk is done. With the Hound, even without a sword, I think that the Hound has been thinking about how to fight someone bigger his entire life. And I would put the Hound over.
But if he's anticipating fighting, if the Hound is anticipating fighting his brother, the Mountain, then he will expect dirtier moves, and Dunk will surprise him.
I just don't think Dunk's fast enough for him.
No, he's definitely got him on speed.
He's going to eat every fucking chicken in this place and wipe the floor with Dunk.
And take every arrow. So, there's value.
You got any other thoughts on this episode, Elysia, before we go to the outro and then spoiler section?
No, I'm just very curious about what the finale is going to be, since it's going to be all basically fallout from this. So I think that versus what we saw in the book, we are going to get a bit deeper exploration of the complicated feelings and political situations that come out of what just went down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like 2 or 3 pages of the novella left of material. Like, it's nothing.
Right.
It's like one scene basically you get after this. So you're right. It's going to be mostly show creation.
I know. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what they add to this.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you're enjoying the Lorehounds, there's plenty of other content going on our feed. Elysia, you've got your Oscars covered. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So last week was Independent Spirits Week. This week is BAFTA's, British Academy Awards Week. So watch out for that episode to come out shortly after this one. And we'll do another live chat this weekend as we watch that on Sunday. So check out the Discord if you want to join in on that. And then just planning in all the other various categories. Next up, I've already recorded the first few. So Lisa and I are going to be talking about production design, hair and makeup and costumes, which are actually some of the most exciting categories this season, especially makeup. And then I have categories on international and the docs and the animation. They're all getting their own episodes. So watch out for all that. Mark's joining me to talk music again. Lots of fun stuff coming up.
I'm excited to hear all that.
And we have the new Cinema Hounds feed. So if you just want movie content, you won't find these episodes there. But if you know anyone who just wants movie content, tell them about the Cinema Hounds feed.
Yes, they say I'm good. I'm too good for TV. That's what they say. And you'll have a whole feed where it won't be tainted by
television.
TV.
Okay.
Very cool. We've got the Pit Weekly coverage going on with me and David. Those are quick episodes. Yeah. Although one of them is longer than this episode, so I don't know. They keep getting longer, but we're having a lot of fun with that.
I think you have a battle being lost in your house.
Oh, I do have a battle being lost in my house. We've also got a Silmarillion story coming on Turin Bar with Marilyn Arpakila. I already recorded it. I just got to edit it, and that'll be out, I think, Sunday. And don't forget to go over to you done with Wonder Man now?
Yes. Oh, and we do have coming out this, or actually just came out today, the Bone Temple, the new 28 Years Later movie. So we're going to be hopefully this weekend recording our episode about that. So you can watch 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple at home now and see why Ralph Fiennes should win a mother flippin' Oscar for this.
He should win all the Oscars. He's great.
He's great, especially he really commits to this, and it's wild and fun. Very brutal,
now for more Night of the Seven Kingdoms, go to Properly Howard Movie Review. You will get the feedback episode on Friday. You will get another instant take for the last episode on Sunday. That's in the show notes. That's in your podcast player, wherever you want to find it. Definitely also check out Radioactive Ramblings for Fallout coverage, and check out Never Mind the Music for music and psychology coverage. I know, Elysia, you just said you're going to have Mark on your Oscars coverage. So if you like Mark on that, go over there.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to read the names today? Because things are happening in my house.
Oh, somebody's fighting a trial of the two. Discord server boosters, thank you very much. Aaron K, Tiller the Thriller, Duve71, Athena Ajalea, Lestu, Nancy M, Ghost of Partition, Radioactive Richard, and Adrian. And thank you especially to our highest tier of subscribers, the Lore Masters, Samarsh, Michael G, Michelle E, SC, Peter OH, Nancy M, Duve71, Brian 8063, Frederick H, Sarah L, Gareth C, Andra B, Kwang Yu, Nathan T, Sub-Zero, Aaron K, Deli V, Mothership 61, Gnarls, Kathy W, Lestu, Jeffrey B, Elysia U, Ben B, Scott F, Stephen N, Julia F, Collie S, Il Mariel, Paul K, Rocky Zim, Jessica A, Red Zippy, the TCS, Dopamini, Catch It, Eleanor, Mrs. Tennant, AC Wilson, Eli W, Cassie K, Chumba Rooney, Katia, Josh Liu, Paintin PDX, Corey G, Quinch, and always last, Adrian. Thank you.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Stick around after the credits if you want some spoilers, and goodbye. The Lorehounds podcast is produced and published by the Lorehounds. You can send questions and feedback and voicemails at thelorehounds.com/contact. Get early and ad-free access to all Lorehounds podcasts at patreon.com/thelorehounds. Any opinions stated are ours personally and do not reflect the opinion of or belong to any employers or other entities. Thanks for listening. All right, Elysia, I don't have too many spoilery thoughts on this episode. The main thing I want to say is David is wildly off. He thinks that Doug is going to run away in the night, which I see. It's a reasonable take. Yeah.
But he makes a good point about the fact that, Highborn Lords won't take Dunk in. And the thing I stopped myself from saying earlier is that Dunk does still have Egg with him, but we can't, they're going to make it look like they're going to break up in the finale. But come on, there's another season coming and they're doing the press tour. But yeah, it's so Dunk has a Highborn princeling with him, but Egg is going to go back to hiding his identity. And so indeed, Dunk is always going to carry the taint from this. And when we next see him, he's definitely not working for any high lords or fancy knights.
No. I'm excited to see how they bridge up this last episode because, like we said in the non-spoiler section, we're out of book content, basically. We've got one conversation between Maekar and Dunk, and that's it. Yeah. So, and
then they say they're going to head off. They say they'll head off to Dorne. I hear there's good puppets there. And then they just skip over the whole Dorne thing. What were you doing, George R. R. Martin? Why'd you skip that?
Who knows? Maybe he'll write it eventually. Maybe he won't. Yeah. It's just...
No, I know, but he skipped in the next book. It's just after they've gotten back from Dorne. They were down there for a couple years or something.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know, would they find a way to bring Tansy back in? Because maybe we never see her again. That is how it is so far in the books that have been published. I think we'll definitely see more of Lionel Baratheon, and I wonder if they'll make him a bigger part of the story because he is important toward the end of Egg's life.
I don't remember why he's important because I haven't read the other novellas as much.
But yeah, it's not even in the other novellas. It's after that. I guess this is from the world of what's it called? The world
Ice
of
and Fire.
Ice and Fire, where basically Egg, when he becomes a king, he really wants to be a more fair king. And one of the things he thinks he needs to do is to marry off his children to other houses. And his children don't love this because a couple of them have, two of them want to marry each other. And another one wants to marry somebody else, not the one assigned to them, a very Robb Stark move. And Lionel Baratheon was supposed to be his daughter, I suppose, was supposed to marry into the house. So he kind of kicks off and starts up a big, conflict about this. And this is one of the things that leads to the downfall of Egg.
Yeah.
I think I'm paraphrasing, and I haven't read it in a while, but
no, thank you for paraphrasing it because I didn't know any of it. Yeah, I would like to see more Lionel because they have great chemistry.
Yeah.
I think Lionel's going to wake up one day in Dunk's bed.
He wishes. Maybe it's through him that Brienne was born. No, I know how this works.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, just I think that it's nice that we're at this point in the season and there's not much we have to keep behind a spoiler cordon, because that's not really what this show is for the most part. Oh,
Right.
I wonder if Raven, what's his face? Don't say Ravenclaw. Blood Raven. I wonder if we'll see some form of him in the finale. That would be
That would
fun,
be
or
very
some
cool.
hint. Mhm.
Yeah. And that he becomes the three-eyed raven, correct?
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, spoilers be gone. We are going to see you all next week for the finale.
And may you decide justly in the Battle of